Welcome to this meeting of the Board of Education. This meeting is being televised live on AACPS TV and streamed on AACPS's YouTube channel. General information and protocols for the meeting are posted on the sign by the doorway as you enter the room. So please make sure you read those if you have not already done so. At this time, we'll have our invocation. O God, we pray to administer that which is just in all education policies, being ever mindful of your guidance, stir us to action with love, wisdom, and understanding. And now our Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And so now we'll be moving on to item 2.03, the approval of the minutes. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve the minutes as written.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have consensus? And we do. Item 2.04, establishing our agenda order. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to establish the agenda order as written.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have consensus? And we do. So we're going to move on to item 2.05, our educator of the month.
This afternoon, the board recognizes an educator who is a natural leader on the interim service provider team. She is invested in supporting the whole child and seeing every student in AACPS belong, grow, and succeed. She consistently demonstrates a positive attitude in all aspects of her work and manages challenges with a solution-oriented lens. She pivots quickly to support multiple schools at one time, demonstrating her flexibility, organization, and ability to establish positive relationships with new students, families, and staffs. Ms. Karami Richer, Service Language Pathologist on the Interim Services Provider Team. Ms. Richer develops and implements individualized education plans for students with a variety of communication needs in the areas of sound production, fluency, social, and receptive language, with a focus on helping students access and participate in their educational day. She provides speech/language services with fidelity and instructs her students according to the most current research in her field and expertise. She naturally embeds literacy and numeracy skills throughout her instructions, directly supporting and promoting academic achievement for all students. She assists her manager with compiling and analyzing system-wide data on a quarterly basis. Upon thorough analysis of the data, Karami provides suggestions and solutions to address caseloads, workloads, and support in the SLP community. In addition to supporting her colleagues and providing high-level quality services to students in schools, she is invested in growing the SLP staff. She directly supervises clinical follows as part of the recruitment and retention efforts in the SLP department. In this role, she shares her knowledge and expertise in the field and coaches new clinicians to build their capacity. Her feedback is timely, constructive, and always focused on helping her CFs become reflective and independent clinicians. This directly impacts therapist satisfaction in their role and assists AACPS in retaining highly qualified SLPs. Karami, the Board of Education is honored to recognize you as the Educator of the Month for December 2025. Congratulations. Please come forward. Please come forward to accept the to accept the recognition.
You guys surprised me.
What they say to be here.
That was the best surprise. She was like, oh, I want you to see the board meeting with me. Oh my gosh.
That's all it took. So all she said was just come see the
She
board
was
meeting.
like, I want you to see the budget. Let's talk. We want get more speech language pathologists to come be in again. Yes. So yes. Thank you so much. I am so honored, and I am part of an amazing SLP community. I would not be here without all the other SLPs. We have a great community, and I'm so proud of this honor. And I love being part of the AACPS SLP community. They're great, everyone, and they do great work for lots of kids throughout this community. It's great.
So we're going to move on to item 2.06, our Employee of the Month. Dr. Tobin.
Thank you, Mr. President. Today, the Board of Education recognizes an employee with a high degree of professionalism,
She collaborates daily with colleagues, navigates highly active community partners, connects parents with critical resources, coaches staff, and elevates the social emotional wellness and wraparound support for students at Tyler Heights Elementary. Ms. Sarah Daniels Larson, Community School Program Manager. The impact and positive influence that Ms. Daniels has had on the entire Annapolis community as the first community school program manager is immeasurable. In 2020, when the rest of the world shut down, Ms. Daniels sprang into action and assembled an army of over 300 volunteers who proceeded to create the largest and most frequented resource fairs and food giveaways in the city of Annapolis. She could be found every Saturday for over a year, collecting data from the lengthy line of cars that idle outside of Tyler Heights, waiting for fresh food, hygiene products, clothes, and other essentials. To date, Ms. Daniels has led this charge, serving over 90,000 individuals in the Annapolis area. The Annapolis community is forever grateful. She is a trailblazer for the community school program. Her innovation and organization became a model for how the role is developed and managed, may I say, in the county as well as the state. Prior to being a program manager, Ms. Daniels served as an ESOL resource teacher, in which her skills for supporting multilingual learners and her bilingualism continue to be an incredible asset. The community school program manager position had its challenges during its inception. Yet, she has never done anything but remain positive and flexible, while also being innovative and going beyond to serve the community schools and put AACPS in the very best light. Ms. Daniels, you are a highly effective and highly skilled employee who displays outstanding performance in all the job-related tasks that you take on. For all these reasons and more, the Board of Education recognizes you as the Employee of the Month for December 2025. Please come forward and congratulations. All right, so our usual favorite question, what lie did they tell you to get you here?
It was really good because I was practicing my speech last night in front of my family. And no one said anything. So thank you all.
Well, Ms. Walsh, I'm sure was good at that. So, we have a plaque for you.
Thank you.
We have this certificate, and I'm going to also give you this speech, the nice things they said about you. And I just want to reiterate, on behalf of the entire Annapolis community, I don't think anybody can fully grasp the difference this one human being has made and continues to make. It is extraordinary. It has changed lives, and it has shown not only the rest of our district and county how it's done, it's shown the state how it's done. And I could not be prouder. So congratulations.
If anyone ever asks you if you want to start something brand new, fresh from the beginning, you should say yes. I have the very best team behind me. I serve the most beautiful community in the city of Annapolis, and I'm a better educator, mother, and solid maybe wife for having had this experience. It has been the trip of a lifetime and of a career, and I just can't wait to see where we take it next. So thank you very much.
And now we're going to be moving on to item 2.07, our volunteer of the month. So we are all familiar with Benjamin Franklin's famous quote, "Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I may remember. Involve me and I learn." This month's Volunteer of the Month embodies the idea of involving students in their learning and preparation for life during their time at the Center of Applied Technology North. It is an immense honor to recognize Robert Ashby as our December 2025 Volunteer of the Month. That look on his face was absolutely amazing. Over the past 2 years, the Cat North school community has had the pleasure of witnessing firsthand the compassion, leadership, and unwavering commitment that our volunteer, affectionately known as Mr. Bob, brings to everything he does. He has become an essential part of the team, always ready to lend a hand, share his expertise, and support both staff and students in countless ways. Mr. Ashby's involvement extends across so many areas, whether he's assisting in classrooms, helping prepare students for Skills USA competitions, or mentoring small groups. Bob approaches every task with enthusiasm and a genuine desire to make a difference. His reliability, positive attitude, and willingness to take initiative have set an inspiring example for our students, showing them what it truly means to lead by serving. One of his standout contributions has been partnering with our carpentry teacher to lead students in hands-on fundraising projects, building doghouses and picnic tables that are sold to the community. These projects not only help our students refine their technical skills, but also teach them the value of teamwork, responsibility, and giving back, all lessons that extend far beyond the classroom. What makes Mr. Bob truly special, though, is his heart. His kindness, patience, and ability to connect with students have made him a trusted mentor and role model. He doesn't just volunteer his time, he invests in people. He builds confidence, encourages curiosity, and reminds our students that they are capable of great things. Mr. Ashby exemplifies the very best of volunteerism. His selflessness, generosity, and unwavering dedication enrich our school community every single day. Mr. Ashby, Cat North, and the entire Anne Arundel County Public Schools community is blessed to have such a dedicated volunteer, and we thank you for your service. Would you please come forward? It is with great appreciation that I would like to present this Volunteer of the Month bell and certificate to you, Mr. Bob, as a symbol of our appreciation. Come on down. So I'm going to open this up and present this to Mr. Bob, and this is for you as well. We'll put it right here for the moment.
Okay.
Okay, and we'll let them take the pictures before I ask my question. Got it. Mr. Bob, it is a pleasure to meet you. What did they do to get you here? What did they tell you to get you to come?
Told me to come here. Boss man over there said, come to school board. 12 o'clock. I said, okay. Boss man says, I do.
I have to say, after having read what I just read, you embody the idea of volunteerism. You do what you do, not for the money, you do it for our kids. And so if you had the opportunity to speak to the kids, if they were out there right now, what would they say? Or what would you like to say to everyone here?
Just, I've spent my life doing the trade. And it's a trade that has always served me well and given me a peace and worth, and that if you can find the same goals and fulfillment in an occupation, go for it.
Oh, we got you.
You got to put that somewhere.
So at this time, we're going to be moving on to item 2.08. We have a,
Well, we got to do Germantown.
we have to do Germantown first. We have item 2.08, a Germantown Elementary School presentation. Mr.
Thank-
Harris?
Well, it's first I'll say a few words. Thank you, Mr. President.
Sure.
We talk a lot of the importance of connections to history in Annapolis and throughout Anne Arundel County. And I am very pleased to be able to welcome and recognize one of those connections today. Born in 1950, Carl Harris grew up in Annapolis. I'm going to assume he was taught a fair share of history during his school days, but Mr. Harris did more than learn history. He lived it and he made it. You see, Mr. Harris integrated Germantown Elementary as a 6-year-old in 1956. That's him that you see on the screen. It's an experience that he will tell you helped shape his life. About 10 years ago, Mr. Harris took up art, glass etchings to be precise. All of his work is done freehand, using no stencils or lasers. When you look closely, you can see the details that he includes, sometimes even hidden words that add more of a story to the etchings. Mr. Harris is recognized by the state of Maryland as an official Maryland artist, and some of his etchings, which you also see on the screen, are included in the Maryland State Arts Collection. The one on the top left, however, is special, and it is why we are here today. It is of the Germantown Elementary that Mr. Harris integrated, a place he never forgot. And those hidden words, I am told the Germantown etching bears letters on trees that spell, God was with me. About 2 weeks ago, Mr. Harris contacted the school system and expressed an interest in donating that etching to Germantown Elementary, the place that helped shape him and that he helped shape nearly 70 years ago. I was thrilled to have the opportunity to speak with Mr. Harris and extend an invitation to him to be here today. I am also thrilled that Germantown Principal Latoya Alexander, Assistant Superintendent Ginger Henley, and some others are also here. I'd like to say one more thing before I ask Mr. Harris to come to the podium and say a few words, and that's this. I hope this isn't the last interaction between Germantown and Carl Harris. I just think it would be wonderful to have him showcase his art and speak to students about the school bonds they share. And Principal Alexander, if and when that occurs, I hope you'll invite me along with the rest of the board. With that, I'd like to invite Mr. Harris up to the podium to say a few words and present his piece.
Okay, first of all, I've gone to the office in the past when I was in school. I never expected to get this high. So, but anyway, there are times in our lives, in history, in which we go past certain markers. I call them markers. They remind us we've been there before, or there's something about this area or this place. I went to Germantown in 1956 as one of the first African Americans to go there. And yes, I'm still around, as you can see. But it was my parents' decision, and they are my heroes. Tell you that. My parents, we lived across the street from Germantown, and when they made it a law that this is what is going to be, my mother said he's going to go to school there. There was a decision in the house, well, there was another school in the city, but that was a few miles away. And I ended up at Germantown. Another name that I have for my picture is, I refer to it as my Little Rock, because that didn't just happen there in Little Rock, Arkansas. And another thing, I was not a history buff for a long time in my life, up until the last, I guess, maybe 10 years or so before I got into doing this. I had to have one more credit for my degree. And anyway, it's social work. You know, this guy ended up in social work with all that's going on there and here in our country. Also becoming a paralegal to understand people, to understand the laws and everything, even more so. But the issue in the days that I can remember going over to Germantown, I knew nothing about what was going on at that time. I had my little cigar box, uh, eraser, 8 crayons, that type of thing. And again, it was my heroes, my very first heroes and first teachers, my parents. I want you all to, I want to recognize my father. Take a little time for this. This is my father. First of all, I want to, before I get back to the school, he's 103 years old. He just celebrated his birthday, going off script a little bit, and a World War II veteran. So, some of the things that my parents taught me and that I learned through the years and learned because we had to work together as a group, as people, you know, uh, how we can help each other, learning to be non-judgmental. These were things that I learned through the years. There were bumpy years in between finally settling down to doing this. But the first day, getting back to the first day of Germantown, I can remember there were police there. There were parents on both sides of the sidewalk. And I remember my mother boldly, strongly walked me to the front door there. And I met my first grade teacher, Miss Brown was her name. And it was like, she was like, go call. They really welcomed me to Germantown. And it was a year that I really remember because that year, for some reason, I could look back now and I said, gee, didn't she sort of overdo it? Carl, you can be first in line. Carl, you sit here. Carl, no, you have this here. Let Carl have that. Now that's how it went. Second year, I listen know a little about history. Second year, I can't tell you what the second grade class looked like because my teacher made me keep my head on the desk. I flunked the second grade. Now, prior to all of this, my mother, boldly again, we went to the library in Annapolis, downstairs, and my mother taught us how to read before we went to school, which is really interesting. We went from there and we moved, and I went to, I moved over to Pearl Elementary School. And they were wondering, well, what happened here? Because this kid is the one who's reading the book to the other kids in the class. I had that experience. Fast forward years later as an adult, my second grade teacher met my father and she realized who he was and I guess whatever. And she said, I want to apologize to you for what I did to your son. For me, fast forwarding, I said, this is how things are done. And working together as people, we're here for each other. You only go through once in life and trying to make things better for each other. And that's a lesson I learned through the years. Make this real quick. In doing this artwork here, I didn't know I was an artist. Sometimes things happen. You don't know what you're capable of doing until the tools are put in your hand. I had architectural drawing at Annapolis High School. Not that good at that, but good at learning how to upsize and downsize pictures. And also something a little weird feeling that I had because of, I guess it was the artist in me, of looking at things and saying, I noticed something there. Me being the one that notices that little thing that's a little different. And I will explain that to you because in the picture on the bottom, on the left, it being a part of being archived in the state of Maryland, I have the privilege of going behind the scenes. That is the State House looking out to Maryland Avenue. And that's what I call inside looking out. So there are a lot of things in my life from early on, I'm saying inside looking out. I had the privilege of having a different perspective of how life is, how life can be. A lot of artists, and I said this, it's not that it's better or anything else like that, it's just something that's different. And I decided to do it this way. My wife and daughter gave me a Dremel drill set for Father's Day. And I said, oh, gee, they make cups and saucers with that type of thing. And then I said, I don't think I want to do cups and saucers. And I tried a picture. My daughter majored in, well, she minored in art. She's a teacher too, by the way. And I said, how does this look? And she said, I hate you. So I had no clue, but it's been a learning process too to get to where I am now in doing this. But that's inside looking out. The dome, that's the dome of the State House. If you see that picture on one of the pillars at the very bottom, the word is put there in the work there. It's Annapolis, Maryland. So that word is hidden in there. The year 1956 is in this art picture. It's here at the bottom. You have to look closely. The leaves in the picture, they spell, I use letters from the alphabet. You use enough of them, W's make oak. If you have wise, for example, and make nice pine trees, things like that. But that's how I can do that. And so this, for that, I had two friends when I was at German Elementary School. I had two white friends that were really buddies of mine. And a lot of the issues that I did run into, they ran and defensively, they were there. And these are things I have to look back at and say, I don't know where they are now. I remember the names Richard and Joseph. But having that experience and seeing how the city has grown, how we as people, how we interact with each other, it can be a beautiful thing. It really can. And I want to thank Annapolis for what Annapolis has done for me. And I hope I've done something of the good and positive and made something good in your life too. So this is what I want to, just walking by the place now and then, I stop and look at the school and just say, something went on there. Something happened there. But for years and years and years, that happened. And so I said, I'm going to do that picture here. And so finally I got around to it. So it's been hanging there in the basement for a long time. I said, it's not doing any good hanging there. It needs to be where it's supposed to go to. So I'm going to take this time to present it to the principal of elementary of German. Thank you so much.
Is the board staying?
Yes, at the board.
Okay, great. That'd be great.
Welcome back. We're now moving on to item 3.0, our public comments on agenda items. This is one of the opportunities that the board provides to hear the views and receive the advice of community members. The members of this board appreciate hearing from interested citizens. As appropriate, we will refer your concerns to the superintendent for follow-up by his staff. While we encourage public input on policies, programs, and practices within the purview of this board and the school system, this is not the proper forum to address specific student or employee matters or to comment on matters that do not relate to public education in Anne Arundel County. I remind everyone that any inappropriate personnel remarks or other behavior that disrupts or interferes with the conduct of this meeting are out of order. Persons who are otherwise or who otherwise disrupt or disturb this meeting will not be allowed to continue their remarks and will be asked to leave the meeting. It is not the board's general practice to engage in question and answer sessions with speakers. For the record, please give your name before speaking. Handouts should be given to the board assistant. I ask that speakers observe the 2-minute clock. A yellow light will shine when you have 30 seconds remaining, and a tone will sound when your time has expired. Please conclude your remarks when you hear the tone. If you continue after your time has expired, the microphone will be turned off. It could also be turned off if a speaker addresses specific student or employee matters or are commenting on matters not related to public education in Anne Arundel County. So we have 2 speakers this afternoon. Our first speaker is Kara Welch.
Hi, should I start? Oh, there I am. Perfect. Hi, everyone. I'm Kara Welch. Thanks for having me today. This is also my first school board meeting, so it's been very, very informative for me. I wanted to come in today to talk about the proposed calendar for the 2026 school year. When students think of the school year, they have 3 different times that are their favorites. The upcoming holidays, which we're about to be in here in December, their birthday, and most importantly, summer break from school. We were all kids once. We remember what summer break felt like it lasted forever. But most importantly, it was during the core months of summer. When you look at summer, June, the pools are opening Memorial Day weekend, still generally still mildly warm out there. It's still kind of cold to go in the water. June is not always a very warm month here in Maryland. With the new calendar, the majority of June, the students would be out of school. And although that sounds amazing, I'm getting out of school so soon, it's limiting them in August. July and August are the warmest months of the summer. It's the meat of summer, where kids are in summer camp. They're taking vacations with their family. It's warm to go in the pool. This new calendar proposal, students would only have 2 weeks of August, and then they'll be going right back to school. Summer break, time for kids to unplug. It's obviously everything you learn in the classroom, but also outside the classroom that counts. But 2 weeks in August is just simply not enough time for our students in the summer. They should have more of August and less of June. And that's what I want to come in and speak about today. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Our next speaker is David Batdorf.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, good afternoon. I also wanted to talk about the proposed schedule and just the hardships that it imposes on families with the sheer amount of days off. I believe this year was the first year with the 2 full weeks of Christmas break, winter break. The proposed schedule, it actually starts on the 21st. I counted through the days, and there are 33 scheduled days off during the year. Most working parents do not get 33 days of PTO. Childcare is extremely limited. It's expensive. Drop-in ad hoc days are significantly more expensive than summer camp. The children are starting this year basically in the middle of August, which feels incredibly early. Mostly just due to the large chunks that are off during the day. I did some quick research. The average American gets 15 days of PTO a year. That's not even enough. Even with both parents taking every single day they have off to cover childcare, it's still not enough. And I know myself and other parents I talk to, one thing that gives when they burn all their PTO just covering days off is sending their kids to school sick. Oh, well, they're not throwing up. I guess we got to send them because, we burnt 2 weeks of PTO over Christmas or 9 days for spring break. These are extremely large chunks of days that the average worker simply doesn't have available. And there's a strong overlap between those that don't have the time available and those that don't have the economic ability to pay someone to watch their children. I would suggest reducing the Thanksgiving holiday to simply 3 days, putting the parent-teacher conferences on Wednesday and then giving Thursday and Friday off additionally. Reduction of the winter break.
Please summarize your time.
24
Your time is
December
expired.
through 1 January. And removing the 20 January.
Thank you. Your time
semester
has
break.
expired.
Thank you, Mr. Babdor. So that does conclude our public testimony this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be moving on to our report items, item 4.0, PTA report.
Hi. Good afternoon. President Silkworth, Vice President Dent, board members and guests. My name is Lisa Crittenden, President of the Anne Arundel County Council of PTAs. I have a slide, but I actually have an update. Good news, we had PTA leaders reach out about our vacancies, so we will be appointing someone to replace our outgoing secretary and should have other positions filled soon as well. I thank you to all those who are stepping up. We really appreciate the help. Can you show the next slide too? A reminder to all local PTAs participating in the 2025-2026 National PTA Reflections Program that the submissions deadline is December 12th, 2025. We would just want to make sure that we get all the artwork in and we're ready to roll on that. Thank you so much for that. We also are working on the Founders Day for this spring. More information will be coming soon, and we are still looking for others that would like to help us with the planning for that. It's a big thing we haven't done for a long time. I have another update. I'm sorry, my slides are all have updates to them, but for our December meeting, we're going to cancel that meeting and replace it with a financial training. We have a lot of new treasurers that are coming on that still need that training, so we thought this would be a good time. So we'll be sending out information probably tonight about how to sign up for that financial training. And so that we will be holding, instead of a meeting, we'll be holding financial training for those that need it. Please let us know how we can support your PTA by contacting us via Givebacks page or by emailing us at info@aaccpta.org. And we wish everyone a happy holidays. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Item 4.02, our policy committee report.
Yes, the policy committee met on, oh my gosh, I didn't put the date in, yesterday, December 2nd, and discussed policy DEA purchasing procedures and policy DEB bidding procedures. Policy DEA purchasing procedures will come before the board for our standard 3-reader process. The changes to policy DEB bidding procedures amounted to technical edits. And in addition to that, we reviewed DEBRA and regulation GCRA. Well, firstly, regulation DEBRA is bidding procedures and regulation GCRAK is workers' compensation leave. We also looked at a number of regulations that were updated with technical changes, including legal references and updates to responsible offices. I want to thank profusely Mary Jo Childs and Matt Stansky for joining our meeting and answering our questions. Very, very much appreciated. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to be moving on to item 4.03, the President's Report. I'm going to begin my report with a statement. Maryland's Open Meetings Act is a statute that requires public bodies to hold their meetings in the open, to give the public adequate notice of those meetings, and to allow the public to inspect meeting minutes. The act also permits public bodies to discuss some topics confidentially with proper documentation. The act's central goals are to increase the public's faith in government, ensure the accountability of government to the public, and enhance the public's ability to participate effectively in our democracy. Members of public bodies are supposed to be familiar with the Act's requirements, and training opportunities are encouraged. Under this law, there's a 3-member Open Meetings Compliance Board, which issues advisory opinions in response to written complaints about alleged violations of the Act. Although the Compliance Board is not part of the Office of the Attorney General, citizens can find a lot of excellent and detailed information about the law on the Attorney General's website. This includes copies of the Compliance Board's opinions, while the opinions of the Compliance Board are only advisory, and it has no authority to impose penalties. They offer real-time guidance to help public officials improve their open meetings practice. Along these lines, a complaint was filed with the Compliance Board in September, alleging that our meeting on September 17, 2025, or at this meeting, the board had fallen short of the Act's requirements for taking recesses, conferring with counsel, and convening in closed session. The board responded, explained the circumstances and intent of our recess and our procedures for complying with quorum rules. The Compliance Board issued an opinion on December the 1st. And by law, we are required to promptly announce the outcome to the public and offer a summary of the opinion. They found that there was a violation in how we recessed that day. Specifically, they recognized that the Act allows us to obtain legal advice in closed session, but we must take the necessary procedural steps, including a vote to close the meeting to the public and the preparation of a written closing statement. Further, once the meeting has started, this cannot be done by simply taking a recess so the officers can confer with counsel during the break, even if the other board members are careful not to gather in groups of a quorum or more during the recess. Because we had already convened a quorum in an open session and were discussing public business when we recessed, the Compliance Board found that subsequent side conversations, even though among less than a quorum, were part of the body's deliberative process. Therefore, the officers' discussion with counsel needed to occur as a part of open session, or if the board wished to exercise its right to have this particular conversation with counsel in closed session, then we needed to take the requisite steps under the Act to go into closed session. Simply recessing and avoiding quorum gatherings and discussion of business during this recess was insufficient, and that was our error. As I mentioned earlier, the full opinion can be found on the AG's website listed as 19 OM CB Opinion 347. Please note that this board, the superintendent, and the staff take our open meetings obligations seriously. We are proud of our procedures and practices, which are aimed at providing as much public access and transparency as possible about how we conduct the school systems business. Our staff who support this part of our mission are top-notch, and nothing about this opinion suggests otherwise. At the same time, we will keep improving and updating our practices, and this includes implementing the guidance that the Compliance Board has provided. Thank you. And now moving on to the rest of my President's Report, I would like to welcome everyone back from the recent holidays. Hope that everyone had a restful time and that everyone has returned to schools refreshed and ready to go. Our last meeting of this board took place just before the holiday break. There hasn't been a whole lot since that time, but I would like to acknowledge several schools who advanced deeply into the state football playoffs. Glen Burnie, South River, Broadneck, and of course in my district, Old Mill. Well, Glen Burnie's in my district as well. They played their hearts out, and they've represented Anne Arundel County in great fashion. Congratulations to these schools and their grade students for a job well done during this winter's fall season. So the winter sports season is now upon us, and we look forward to this season. Many of you know that I still announce football, basketball, and other sports. Well, on Friday night at North County High School, the Knights will take on the Cougars of Chesapeake. So this is an ordinary basketball game. However, there will be a special presentation after the game, which begins at 5 p.m., and I'd like to explain why. Before the existence of North County, there were two small community high schools, Andover High and Brooklyn Park High School. These two communities today are North County High School. Well, the history of North County does include the history of both Andover and Brooklyn Park High Schools. In the 80s, the Bees, the Brooklyn Park Bees, were quite a force in basketball. In fact, they won 6 state championships out of 7 years. Dr. Bedell, did you hear that? 6 state championships out of 7 years. This is an accomplishment which is not likely to be repeated. So on Friday evening, Art St. Martin, the coach of the Bees, will be honored after the girls' game. Well, Art was a phys ed teacher, I believe at Linthicum Elementary, and so he had the opportunity to teach many of the young Bees at an early age, and he provided them with the skills and the foundation needed to be excellent basketball players. I look forward to this event. Invite everyone and any former Brooklyn Park Bee to join us as Art St. Martin is honored. The interesting thing that this event has been organized by Maria Beam Gray, who, by the way, happens to be the head coach for the Chesapeake Cougars and played on the state championship teams with Art St. Martin. So, finally, we are absolutely looking forward to attending the High School Unified Showcase this Friday at Serrano Park High School, to be followed by the High School Unified Showcase at Meade High School on the 12th of December. That does conclude the President's report. Okay, we're moving on to item 4.04, the Superintendent's report. Dr. Bedell.
Thank you, Mr. President. As Mrs. Silkworth said, I hope everyone had a relaxing break and got the opportunity to spend time with family and friends. I have a pretty short report today. I want to start off by congratulating the 18 semifinalists for the 2026 Anne Arundel County Public Schools Teacher of the Year that we announced on Monday. These outstanding educators were chosen from a field of 88 nominees and come from every level of our school district. The 2026 Teacher of the Year will be announced in April, and that person will go on to compete for Maryland Teacher of the Year. We have amazing teachers in our school district, and it is a pleasure to be able to honor so many through this program each year. On Monday, I had the opportunity to meet with some of our students, the Vice President of Education at Youth Service America, who presented our school district with the YSA, which is Youth Service America 2025 Gold Ribbon Award. We are one of just 6 districts in the nation to win this award, which recognizes our commitment to integrate service learning into every facet of student life. In particular, YSA cited our 5th grade Chesapeake Connections program, our accessible serving learning portal, a nationally recognized partnership with Chick-fil-A and regular celebrations of the service performed by our students. Congratulations to everyone involved in these efforts. I want to congratulate New Annapolis Mayor Jared Littman and the members of the City Council of Annapolis, all whom took their oaths on Monday. Dr. Tobin, Ms. Schauheim, Ms. McDermott, and I had the opportunity to attend some portion of the festivities as they officially begin their terms in office. I look forward to working with the mayor and the council members to continue the relationship we built with the city. Our team is putting the finishing touches on the fiscal year 2027 budget recommendation, which I will present to this board at the next meeting on December 17th. As you have no doubt heard, this is going to be a tight budget year. Because of some of the prudent measures we've taken over the last several years, I still believe we are going to be in a better position than some other school systems across Maryland. We have been able to do right by our employees and still expand our programs in every budget since I've arrived. There are going to be some difficult choices over the next few months, and we're going to need everyone working together to do the best that we can in an effort to serve our students and staff. And finally, as we do at each meeting, here's a look at our updated vacancy numbers. As you can see, pretty static, 37 teacher vacancies compared to 63 last year at this time. You can see the teacher assistants compared to last year. Food service, we've finally gotten it under 80, but still have a long way to go there. And we will continue to be diligent in trying to recruit, but also make sure that we're retaining the people we have in our workforce. Mr. President, that concludes the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Dr. Bedell. So moving on to some consent items, award of contracts. Do I hear a motion for a bundle?
Motion to bundle?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to bundle and second. Do we have consensus? And we do. Dr. Bedell.
Mr. President, the superintendent recommends that the Board of Education authorize the award of contracts on the consent items numbered 5.01 through 5.03.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Ms. Howe?
Dr. Tobin?
Aye.
Ms. McDermott?
Aye.
Ms. Pulliam?
Aye.
Ms. Shawhan?
Aye.
Ms. McFarland?
Aye.
Mr. Morgan?
Aye.
Ms. Dent?
Aye.
Mr. Silkworth?
Aye.
Motion passes 8-0.
Okay, we're moving on to action item 6.01, the election of board officers. So at this time, I'm going to entertain nominations we're going to deal with the election of president first. Dr. Tobin.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. So it is my great pleasure to nominate Ms. Gloria Dent for president. She's currently our vice president, for president. I am thrilled to be able to offer this nomination. I've had a chance to work with Ms. Dent ever since she first came onto this board in really the middle of a term, which is always a difficult adjustment to make. I've been very grateful for her friendship, her leadership, her calm ability to weigh what's before us, and her willingness to take the tough votes when necessary. And I can't think of any qualities that are better for that position of president, which is, as I know, a very demanding one. And so I am delighted to put that nomination before my colleagues, and I hope you will give it all consideration. Thank you.
Okay, are there any other nominations for president? So seeing none, I believe Ms. Howe can vote. Oh, that's right, Ms. Dent. Oh, Ms. Shawhan.
At the appropriate time, I have a statement. Thanks.
Ms. Dent.
So first of all, Dr. Tobin, as you know, this is not only something that I take to heart, but it's very important to me as being a leader, having been a leader for so many years, to take this nomination so serious. I do. I can recall in 2021, as I shared with you, when making hard decisions, I'd consulted with Christine Davenport, who's no longer with us. But the second call I called was to you, because I really wanted to know what I was getting myself into. And so thank you for not only giving me honest advice and really not really helping me make the decision, but giving me all of the ins and outs of what it meant to be a board member. And everything that you've told me from day one has not only came to fruition, but I use that as my guiding principle. And that has always been about education of our students. And so, yes, I accept this nomination as a board member. I've also witnessed firsthand just the dedication of our incredible staff that we have. And so if elected to this position, I intend to continue the transparency, accountability, and the board's purpose as we move forward into the 26-27 school year. Thank you.
Okay, so seeing that there are no other nominations, I would like to echo the comments of Dr. Tobin. I've had the opportunity to work with Ms. Dent, particularly this past year, and I just believe that our students, our school system will be in great hands. So having said that, Ms. Shahan.
Thank you. I do have a brief statement I'd like to read. I wrote it out so I can get the words right. I'd like to take a few moments to share my reasoning for my vote today. My no vote boils down to communication and collaboration between myself and the current VP and nominee for board president. I expect board leadership to communicate with all members about board business. I'm extremely disappointed to be left out of conversations of recent board meetings, even though I am a duly elected member of this board representing schools impacted by recent decisions made by this body. This makes me feel written off. I expect board leadership to call in all members as equals, provide timely communication, and collaborate with each of us, especially when the business before us directly impacts their district. Everyone in this room is well aware that I have no problem voting my conscience always, even if I am the lone dissenting vote. I remain hopeful that our working relationship will improve with regard to communications about board business. I am always reachable by phone or text. Thank you.
Okay, seeing no more lights, Ms. Howe.
This is the nomination for board president of Ms. Dent. Dr. Tobin?
Aye.
Ms. McDermott?
Aye.
Ms. Pulliam?
Aye.
Ms. Shawheim?
Nay.
Ms. McFarland?
Aye.
Mr. Morgan?
Aye.
Ms. Dent?
Aye.
And Mr. Silkworth?
Aye.
Motion
Aye.
Motion passes 7-1.
Okay, we're going to move on to the election of our vice president. We'll entertain nominations at this time. Ms. McDermott.
Thank you, Mr. President. I motion to nominate Ms. Dawn Pulliam for Vice President. Ms. Pulliam's commitment to the administrative and operational functioning of this board makes me confident that she will be an effective Vice President. What they don't tell you is when you become a member of an elected body, you learn a lot more about your seatmates than you ever anticipated. Aside from knowing about your chocolate addiction, I've also never seen someone so committed to the future farmers of America, committed to leading and rejuvenating the Military Service Award ceremony. I just know your passion to ensure the administrative and procedural goings on of this board is at the highest, and I'm proud to nominate you. Thank you.
Ms. Shawheim.
I'd like to nominate my seatmate, Ms. Erica McFarland, for vice president. We worked very hard on the campaign trail together. I think she's a remarkable human being, always leading with kindness, always wanting to understand every facet of everything we do, and I think she would make an excellent vice president. Thank you.
Okay, are there any other nominations? Seeing none at this time, I'm going to ask Ms. McDermott as the person that nominated Dawn. You could speak on her behalf at this time.
I think we want Dawn, the candidate. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, this is hard for me because I'm very passionate about all the people in this room. I want to thank Sarah for the nomination. Coming onto this board, you really don't know what to expect, but we've been able to work through, we've gone through the hills and the valleys together, especially through redistricting. She's been my shoulder. She's been my the person that I've gone to first and many times, and along with the other people on this board. It's been a long year. And I so appreciate every single person in this room and in our community. I accept this nomination. I am deeply grateful. And if elected, I promise each of you that I will bring the same work ethic, integrity, and character to this role as I have over the past year in every position I have ever served. I would be honored and delighted to work side by side by newly elected Miss Gloria Dent as our president, Superintendent Dr. Bedell, my fellow board members, and our cabinet members as we continue to serve the students, staff, community with dedication and purpose in achieving our goals. On a personal note, I truly respect and enjoy working with each of you, from my fellow board members, Dr. Bedell and his team, and our broader community. Education and our students are my passion, and their success remains at the heart of everything I do. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. McFarland.
Thank you so much for the nomination. Just having been on the board for a year, it's been a year of growth and learning, navigating everything, and I've really thoroughly enjoyed it thus far. Always keeping our students at heart and what's best for them. It's difficult at times to read some comments about how some community members think that the board doesn't care. And I want to change that. I want to help lead the board into a greater partnership with our community, because I know each one of you, and I know that you all care very deeply. So I want to help change that within our board, the perception that we don't care, because I know we care very, very much. So that is one of my goals for our board, and I would be happy to work alongside Gloria to work on that partnership with our community. Thank you.
Okay, so we have two nominees. Ms. Howell, it's time for a vote.
Thank you. So as a reminder, you will indicate the individual in which you would like to see in the vice president position. Dr. Tobin.
Ms. Dawn Pulliam.
Ms. McDermott.
Ms. Dawn Pulliam.
Ms. Pulliam.
Miss Dawn Pulliam.
Ms. Schalheim.
Miss Erica McFarland.
Ms. McFarland.
Erica McFarland.
Mr. Morgan.
Miss Dawn Pulliam.
Ms. Dent.
Miss Dawn Pulliam.
And Mr. Silkworth.
Ms. Dawn Pulliam.
That's 6 for Ms. Pulliam, 2 for Ms. McFarland. Ms. Pulliam passes.
Okay, so that completes the election. We will be taking a brief break.
We'll begin with action item 6.02, administrative personnel appointments. Dr. Bedell, your recommendation, please.
Madam President, the superintendent recommends that the board approve the administrative personnel appointments as discussed in executive close.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay. Ms. Howe?
Dr. Tobin,
Aye.
Ms. McDermott,
Aye.
Mr. Silkworth,
Aye.
Ms. Schallheim,
Aye.
Ms. McFarland,
Aye.
Mr. Morgan,
Aye.
Ms. Pulliam,
Aye.
and Ms. Dent.
Aye.
Motion passes 8-0.
All right. Item 6.03, personnel. Dr. Bedell?
Madam President, the superintendent recommends that the board approve the actions as stipulated on the attached sheets.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, there being none, Ms. Howe?
Dr. Tobin,
Aye.
Ms. McDermott,
Aye.
Mr. Silkworth,
Aye.
Ms. Schallheim,
Aye.
Ms. McFarland,
Aye.
Mr. Morgan,
Aye.
Ms. Pulliam,
Aye.
Ms. Dent.
Aye.
Motion passes 8-0.
Item 6.04, Chesapeake High School third-party project, installation of safety netting and baseball backstop. Dr. Bedell?
Thank you, Madam President. The superintendent recommends approval of the Chesapeake High School third-party project, installation of safety netting and baseball backstop.
So moved.
Second.
All right, are there any discussion? There being none, Ms. Howe?
Dr. Tobin?
Aye.
Ms. McDermott?
Aye.
Mr. Silkworth?
Aye.
Ms. Shawheim?
Aye.
Ms. McFarland? Aye. Mr. Morgan?
Aye.
Ms. Pulliam?
Aye.
And Ms. Dent?
Aye.
Motion passes 8-0.
Item 6.05, New Village Academy Public Charter School Agreement.
Thank you, Madam President. Before I make my recommendation, I just want to express my excitement for this project. This is something that we've been working on over the last 3 years. And as I said at the groundbreaking ceremony, I'm not the individual that believes that in the proliferation of charter schools, especially in a school system like ours that's on the brink of being a phenomenal school district. But what I do and believe in supporting is charter schools that are willing to see that there is an area within the school district where we may not be doing as well with students, or that it's something that's missing that can really help enhance the experience. What we have with the New Village Academy is a model that I think potentially could become a game changer in helping us as we continue to want to consistently have graduation rates over 90%, but also serving a population that may just need a more boutique experience. And they will get that with this particular model, in addition to the workforce opportunities that will be readily available due to the location. We hope that this will become a model that could potentially be replicated across this country. And with that being said, that is the reason why I recommend that the board approve the amended charter school agreement with the New Village Academy Public Charter High School Governing Board.
So moved.
Second.
All right, I'll take lights. Dr. Tobin?
Yes, I want to echo a lot of what Dr. Bedell said. I was privileged to attend the groundbreaking after what has been a long and I know arduous process for the team, Ms. Pittman and the board. And I just want to say that this is a model that I have long championed through a lot of my work outside of my work on the board. And I am so profoundly grateful to see it finally coming to our county. I'm particularly grateful to see it begin in Annapolis. I think it will serve some of our students extraordinarily well. And Annapolis is a wonderful city. As we saw earlier today, the history of this city alone makes it the most amazing classroom you could find. And I know it will enhance the lives of our students. I believe it will enhance the life of our city. And I am very excited to see it get off the ground and very happy that I live just walking distance away. So I can't wait to see that beautiful space when it's all finished. So thank you.
No other discussion? Ms. Howe?
Dr. Tobin?
Aye.
Ms. McDermott?
Aye.
Mr. Silkworth?
Aye.
Ms. Shawheim?
Aye.
Ms. McFarland?
Aye.
Mr. Morgan?
Aye.
Ms. Pulliam?
Aye.
And Ms. Dent?
Aye.
Motion passes 8-0.
All right, next item, 6.06, 2026 through 2027 school year calendar. Dr. Bedell.
Thank you, Madam President. We will have Mr. Silkworth, who chairs the calendar committee, to come up. I'm sorry.
Did I do
Mr.
that?
Bob Mosier. I'm sorry. It's a
I
lot
didn't
going
know I
on,
did
man.
that.
I didn't eat all my breakfast. Okay, it's a struggle. All right. The superintendent recommends approval of the 2026-2027 school year calendar as recommended by the calendar committee.
So moved.
Second.
All right, by lights, Ms. Shawheim. First, I want to acknowledge again the very hard work that the calendar committee does every year. Arguably thankless work, and I want to thank Mr. Mosier for his facilitation of that committee for a number of years now. I know we all received a ton of feedback. I want to thank constituents up and down the county for reaching out to me via all the means on the socials, on the email, everything, to let me know
what they were thinking with regards to the calendar. The calendar arguably is also, God, right up there with one of my least favorite parts of my job. But here we go. So I, at the appropriate time, I do have a motion, a couple actually, but I do want to ask some questions of Mr. Mosier first, if you would. Thank you. So a lot of what folks said to me, and I'm assuming to the rest of my colleagues, is some uneasiness, I think that's the most polite way to put it, with regard to an August 19th date. And so if we were to adjust that date closer to the end of the month, how would that look in terms of length of quarters and any other movement that would have to occur as a result, and also with regard to teachers and their dates of showing up?
Sure. So thank you, Ms. Shaham. For the record, Bob Mosier, Chief Communications Officer. It would depend on the number of days you move. But if you look at this calendar, the way it sits, teachers return on the 12th, a week before the start of school. So five working days before the start of school. So if you were to move 8 days, let's say you move the 19th to the 31st, you have to find 8 days in the calendar, right? But the teacher return, the number of days we need for teacher PD and the number of days they need to return basically is the last thing we fill in, right? You sort of work from the end. So it has often been 6. This year in this calendar, it's 5 because there are 2 days after the departure of students that teachers work. One, the 4th marking period grading day, and the other, the closeout day. So I think the other question you asked was marking periods. So it would depend on where you start, right? So the more days you take off of August, the more likely it is that we have to adjust that October 1st marking period to try to balance the marking periods out, right?
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. I do have a motion at the appropriate time.
Mr. Silkworth?
I just want to mention, it's my understanding that we received 565 emails in a very brief period of time. And we also received 124 written comments. The majority of the emails and comments were based upon the start time of the 19th, with whether it was families, parents, or staff recommending or saying to us that they just felt that that was too early a start time. And their recommendation was that we consider that. And so I just wanted to, I also have a motion. I just wanted to make everyone aware of those numbers.
Thank you, Madam President. I wanted to ask another issue that came up in a number of the emails that we received was those who were concerned about the late arrival being chosen versus the early release. And so I wondered if you could go over with us, to the best of your ability, Mr. Mosier, what the thinking was on the committee for making the decision to do a late arrival versus an early dismissal.
Probably the second most extensive issue that we talked about, other than the Christmas break, the winter break issue. So the pluses to moving, as voiced by committee members, the pluses to moving to a late arrival: far better opportunity and effectiveness for professional development in the morning than at the end of the day, where teachers are tired and want to go home. The ability of older siblings of elementary school students to still be home, given the way the school hours now work, which is not the case in an early dismissal. And the ability of students to be able to remain at school rather than go home and just to turn around and come back for band or athletics or those kinds of things. There was discussion about the daycare issue for sure.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. That's very helpful.
Ms. McFarland?
Thank you. I have a question about the either early dismissal or late arrival days, the partial days. So I hear from a lot of our families, and I know we as a board, have worked on this and have eliminated some of the early dismissal days. However, is it still a goal of ours to eliminate them all? And can we, I know there's contractual issues, but could we work towards consolidating the 4 partial days into 2 full PD days for our teachers to eliminate that burden on our families for childcare on those days?
So we've had those discussions as we formulated a recommendation, as we formulated a calendar to present to the calendar committee. We talked about that and we decided that we should get in a good place with the end of marking period days this year in 26, 27, right? Rather than taking everything on at once and making huge radical changes. So there has been discussion as recently as yesterday. Dr. Bedell and I had a discussion about the 4 remaining partial days.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, and I just wanted to add on to that because our plan is to come to the community with a calendar much earlier, which we were talking about the 27-28 school year calendar being presented sometime in the spring. I think that gives us several months to work with staff and to make sure that we're properly engaging, because the ultimate goal is to try to eliminate as many of those early release days. But there are some negotiated agreement things and some logistical items that we need to address. But please know that is in current discussion.
Good. Yeah. Yes. I just ask that we try to give our families as much of a heads up, because once they sign up for these before and after programs, what we heard this year is when we changed sort of after a calendar had been approved, then it presented problems with childcare. So if we can just try to make sure that we give our families a good heads up before they have to, change arrangements after being made.
And Ms. McFarland, that's exactly the intent of bringing you a calendar in the spring.
Perfect.
So next fall, you'll be approving the 28-29 count. So in the fall of 26, you'll be approving the 28-29 count.
That'll be great. Thank you.
Ms. Bolio?
Thank you, Madam President. So for me, touching on Ms. McFarland's comment, I just wanted to recognize the folks that have reached out that are teachers. For them, the half day, the 2 early hour versus the late start, many of them concerned, how are we going to get our children to and from daycare and the SAC program? So I just want to recognize that, and you did mention that.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, in terms of the 2-week holiday period, what was the justification for 2 weeks versus starting leaving on the 23rd?
The students on the committee wanted 2 weeks off, if you want me to be perfectly honest. And who could blame them? I think they're going to vote that way every single year. But certainly the fact that there are 2 weeks this year played into that discussion. The weariness of people at that time of the year played into that discussion, and then attendance played into that discussion. One of the principals on the committee talked about the fact that no matter how hard she tries to get kids to school, get families to send kids to school, then it's difficult, and it's easier in August, for example. And so the calendar we presented to the committee opened schools on the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. And so that decision was made before where to place those 3 days. And so then it became, do you put them at the end of the year or do you put them at the beginning of the year? And for instructional purposes, they were put at the beginning of the year.
Thank you. And Ms. Shelhigh. Okay, one more question about 2-hour late starts. I did hear from a number of parents and students that were concerned about jobs and internships and, seniors on partial schedules and sort of what that looks like. And so how does that work? If you're a senior on a partial schedule and you have an internship, how does it work with the 2-hour late start?
So I talked with our academics office this morning about that very subject. And the length of time that we have to plan and that folks have to plan with internships and the flexibility that would come with that would help for sure. There may be some conflicts, but you're talking about 4 days over the course of 177 school days.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And Mrs. Sickworth.
So if I put my teacher hat on, we have had discussions about the late late openings or early dismissals. I put my teacher hat on, and I remember that as a teacher, if it was a late opening, then I had a couple hours of PD, then I had to teach quite a few classes. And the same was true if it was an early dismissal. Early dismissal, I had to teach a good bit of the day, and then I had to go to the PD. From my standpoint, I'm looking to help maximize the positive impact on of PD to help our students and the students' outcomes. And so I did have some discussions about the possibility of combining those 2 days each semester into one full day of PD, which would absolutely be dedicated to professional development that would be absolutely important for each of the individual schools and all of the teachers and relevant to them. And so although it may not be something that we could do with this calendar, it certainly is something that I think really should be considered because I just think the benefits would be very great. So thank you.
All right, I see no other comments. We'll take motion. Mr. Sipworth, wait. Oh, you want a motion? I'm just looking at lunch.
Oh, sorry, I did mention
You
earlier
did,
that
but-
I had a motion first.
Sure, but you're welcome to go ahead on.
Thank you. All right, I move that the first day of school for the 2026-2027 school year be on Monday, August 24th, 2026, with student reporting requirements consistent with those contained in the draft calendar. All schools and offices will be open for staff and students December 21st, 2026 through December 23rd, 2026.
Second.
Any discussion? None? Okay, so
Do you need me to repeat the motion?
please.
Ms. Schallheim moved that the first day of school for the 2026-2027 school year be on Monday, August 24th, 2026, with student reporting requirements consistent with those contained in the draft calendar. All schools and offices will be open for staff and students December 1st, 2026 through December 23rd, 2026. Dr. Tobin.
Aye.
Ms. McDermott.
Aye.
Ms. Pulliam.
Aye.
Ms. Schallheim.
Aye.
Wait, I'm in the wrong thing. Ignore that. Sorry. Hold. Sorry. Dr. Tobin.
Aye.
Ms. McDermott.
Aye.
Mr. Silkworth.
Aye.
Ms. Schallheim.
Aye.
Ms. McFarland.
Aye.
Mr. Morgan.
Aye.
Ms. Pulliam.
Aye.
And Ms. Dent.
Aye.
Motion passes 8-0.
And Mr. Sipworth.
Well, my motion would have accomplished the same thing. So it's exactly the same motion. So
All right. Ms. Schallheim.
All right, I do have another motion. I move that all 4 late arrivals be converted to 2-hour early dismissals.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, Ms. Howell, could you read the motion?
Yes, Ms. Schallheim moved that all 4 late arrival days be converted to 2-hour early dismissal days. Dr. Tobin.
This is a hard one, but I'm going to say aye.
Ms. McDermott.
Aye.
Mr. Silkworth.
nay.
Ms. Schallheim.
Aye.
Ms. McFarland.
Aye.
Mr. Morgan.
Nay.
Ms. Pulliam.
Aye.
And Ms. Dent.
Nay.
That's 5-3. Motion passes.
All right, are there any more other motions about the calendar?
I move to adopt the calendar as amended.
Second.
Ms. Howe?
Dr. Tobin?
Aye.
Ms. McDermott?
Aye.
Mr. Silkworth?
Aye.
Ms. Schallheim?
Aye.
Ms. McFarland?
Aye.
Mr. Morgan?
Aye.
Ms. Pulliam?
Aye.
And Ms. Dent.
Aye.
Motion passes 8-0.
All right, moving on to item 6.07, review of the Global Citizenship Course, GCC. Ms. Schallheim? Thank you. By way of background, the Global Citizenship class was first approved by the board as a graduation requirement beginning fall 2019 for all ninth grade students, with the goal of exploring the values and diversity of our local, national, and global communities. 6 years later, we, this board, have a pretty great opportunity to look at this course through the lens of today's world and economy, excuse me, and determine how best to support students today in ways that will equip them with the skills they need to be successful, productive adults. Several of us are meeting with staff tomorrow to discuss the current course as well as share ideas to potentially edit the scope and sequence. One topic parents and students have requested for the entirety of my time on the board is a dedicated course in financial literacy. Part of being a global citizen is having the financial knowledge and skills that support active participation in economic life. Setting students up for success in this way also supports our commitment to educational equity. We could potentially incorporate the strongest units of the current curriculum, particularly with regard to exposure to different cultures and how to be a productive member of a diverse society, focusing on empathy, compassion, and understanding other cultures, with financial literacy comprising the majority of the semester. And also, I should note that presently 9 LEAs, Allegheny, Baltimore County, Calvert, Caroline, Carroll, Charles, Frederick, Garrett, and Prince George's County require financial literacy as part of their graduation requirements, with their graduation credits varying between 22 and 25. That's for those 9. 7 of the 9 LEAs that require financial literacy require it as a 0.5 credit, so a half-year course, semester course, while the other 2 require a full-year course at 1 credit. So that's what I wanted to say. I wanted to put it into the universe. I think we have a great opportunity. I'm the only member of this body that was around when we adopted this class in its current form. And you know, the world was different then. I consider 2019 to definitely be the before times. And a lot has happened both in our local school system in really wonderful ways, I might add. And in the state, and then, you know, more broadly in terms of like the world and the economy as it is today. And so I wanted to put this into the universe, and I will be instructing leadership to place this item back on the agenda for December 17th to potentially look further. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you. Dr. Tobin?
Yes, I wanted to support Ms. Schallheim in this. I was not on the board when the decision was made, as Ms. Schallheim was, but I was a parent at the time and observed it very closely. And I'm glad the board made the decision it did at that time. But I agree with Ms. Schallheim. I believe everything we do should be subject to periodic review. And as this was a determination by the board, I think it is appropriate that the board take the initiative, thanks to Ms. Schallheim, to undertake this review and consider what are going to be productive options. And I think some good ones have been suggested moving forward to make sure that this is not something that's set in stone and loses its immediate relevance, but retains the critical importance that I think the board that made the original decision and the superintendent at the time intended it to have. So thank you.
Ms. McDermott.
Thank you, Madam President. I want to give kudos to the Global Citizenship course for the value that it's brought, because as much as things have changed, we are very much still in the same place as we were in 2019. There are some elements that look very much the same. But also want to wholeheartedly support the financial literacy course. This is something that I ran on to get on this board. I think it is of utmost importance to grab these kids before they are signing college loans and getting sucked into predatory financial things like gym memberships that you just had no idea about as a kid. So I just want to lend my support. Thanks.
Thank you. Ms. Pulliam.
I concur as well as Ms. McDermott. That was one issue that came up every time while we were campaigning. And it was the first issue Ms. McDermott and I had a meeting with Ms. Catalano on when we first came onto the board. So I don't want to discredit all of the work that has been done, because we have sprinkled into many of our courses financial literacy, as Ms. Catalano is looking at me, and we've done a great job. But to have something that's consistent across the board and a requirement would be great, but it's definitely the assessment and where are the gaps. But thank you for all you do, Ms. Catalano, you and your team. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention one thing. So currently the course is a requirement for 9th grade. And so we also have the opportunity in our review of this course to determine where, if we were to make changes, where we might also want to make adjustments in terms of when a student of ours would be taking this class. So I just wanted to put that also into the universe. Maybe the recommendation from our very talented team would be to keep it at this level, but maybe not. Maybe it's excuse me, more of a like a junior or senior year class when students are getting their first jobs, and it becomes a little bit more real as opposed to something in the abstract. So I just wanted to put that into the universe as well as part of the review. Thank you. All right, if there are no other comments, okay. We're going to move on to item 7.01, award of contracts. Are there any, Dr. Bedell? No? Okay. All right, if that is the case, there are no public comments for non-agenda items. Can I entertain a motion to
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Second.